everybody. How's it going? I've been getting a lot of questions recently about how our conveyor belt works and what are some of the key components to having a successful conveyor belt. So I thought I'd just make this short video to help everybody out. I'll start by going with the different types of lists that people can pull. So far, we've identified just over 60 different types of lists that you can market to. So the first step is basically just deciding which list you want to pull, and then you go to whichever platform that you prefer, either PropStream or Batch or ListSource, whatever it might be. You can also pull from county records directly, which is a great resource. We use PropStream and Batch and county records currently, and always looking for other resources to be able to pull lists from. One of the reasons we really like PropStream is because you can pull the lists and there's a lot of help and support. You have a support team that you can dial in and they'll walk you through questions that you have for list pulling. The other thing that we really like about PropStream is the list automator. Basically, this is just a tool, and it's an add-on tool. It costs like $20 a month. When you pull a list, whatever your filters are for that particular list, whether it's price or number of bedrooms and bathrooms, square footage, etc., you can save that list, and then this list automator will identify, so here's your list, and then it'll identify new records. So in this case, for example, we're pulling the pre-foreclosure list for Duval County, and they have 2 new entries that we haven't skip traced and started marketing to, and it identifies it clearly here. So you just click that and you can download your list. So at this point, you've identified the list that you want to market to, and then you've pulled the list. The next step is going to be skip tracing it. So the way that we do our skip tracing is, everybody's pretty familiar with basic skip tracing. So when you do a skip trace file, you end up getting a data dump. You get data back from the skip tracing company. And this, just as an example here, if you're looking for Caesar, here's all the phone numbers for Caesar. We were basically looking and kept asking ourselves who has the best skip tracing company and who has the best data. What we ultimately found was we're asking the wrong question. All the skip tracing companies, whether it's Batch or Skip Genie, IDI, Need to Skip, even Verified Skips, they all have very similar data. And what we found was we need to ask a different question. We need to ask who has the most relevant information. So if we're looking for Caesar Acosta, we have 6 phone numbers for him. This is what we end up finding is a couple of the numbers will be registered to Caesar. Some of the numbers will be registered to some family members, and then there's going to be some wrong numbers as well. And that's how we've highlighted it here. Green numbers are directly tied to the person that's being searched for. Yellow numbers are basically going to be anybody that is a family member, and red numbers are going to be the wrong number. And we found that to be true with literally all the companies that we tested. Everybody, again, they have similar data. It's just a matter of sorting through it, getting it organized. So you can just kind of see, we ran that same exact test to try to isolate the information, and we ended up getting very similar results for all the different companies that we've tested thus far. So once the skip tracing is completed, what we do here is we break up our information. This is what an actual skip trace file looks like. We're done with it. We break up the phone numbers into phone 1, phone 2, 3, 4, and 5. And the reason we break it up that way is for when we upload into the dialer, we want to make sure that we're doing everything in our power to try to get a hold of that person on the right number at the right time of day. So when we break up our phone numbers into phone 1, phone 2, phone 3, phone 4, etc., what it does, here's what it looks like when we upload it. It basically just has all the different phone numbers. Now we can isolate and understand how many rounds have we called that particular number. So if we're trying to figure out how many times have we called Cameron, for example, this particular number, when you upload it phone by phone, you can go in there and say, okay, that was phone number 2, and we've called it 3 rounds, for example. So we know that we've attempted to reach that individual at least 3 rounds, 3 times. The other important thing to consider is we don't know exactly what time of day to contact somebody. right? We don't know people's work schedules. Are they more likely to answer in the morning, in the afternoon, or in the evening? Or what time of day it's best to reach that particular individual? So what we do is we have a KPI tracker. It's currently manual, assuming we're going to be trying to build a platform to be able to track this information even better. But we try to rotate our calling campaigns in 3 different sections of the day, or blocks, we call it. We have morning block, afternoon block, and evening block. And what that means is the morning block is basically from 8 a.m. to noon. Afternoon block is going to be basically from noon to 4, and then evening block is going to be from 4 to 8 p.m. And the thinking behind this is that we're going to call the different campaign and the different list at different times on different days in hopes of trying to reach that particular homeowner, giving us the best chance. Because let's just say hypothetically somebody is a single parent and they have 2 kids, they need to get the kids ready for school, they're really busy in the morning. When they get to work, they need to focus on their work and they're not able to answer their phone. If you just upload all your phone numbers into the dialer at the same time and just leave it to chance, you have no idea when you're actually attempting to contact that person. So when you break it up into morning, afternoon, evening, and then track it so that you know, have I called the deceased owner list in the morning? Have I called it in the evening? This gives us the best chance of connecting with somebody and really exhausting the lead before we stop dialing it. And so from there, once we upload it into the dialer, cold call team makes the dials, they contact the homeowners, and then they do the 4 pillars. They get the motivation, time frame, condition, and asking price, and try to drum up obviously a conversation with them, build some rapport. And they mark the lead as interested, not interested, or disposition it accordingly. We have all that set up. We use ZenCall. This is ZenCall ready mode for anybody that hasn't seen that before. They have all the questionnaires here. When they click on interested and send the lead up, we are using Podio. This is what our Podio looks like. We basically have our leads in there and it just tracks. I know a lot of people are either fans or not fans of Podio, but this is how we set up ours. Just have our basic contact information, some images of it. The reason we have so many buttons in here is to make it filterable. When you have a button and you click a button, you can filter by the temperature or by the type of deal, structure, things like that. When you just have a notes field like this, you can't quite filter from it. Once the lead is generated, it goes to our QA department. So in this particular case, Laura was calling absentee owners. There's her notes. It goes to our QA department. So quality assurance basically looks at everything. They listen to every call, and they're just a third-party unbiased input. They're putting their feedback here, and then there's the 4 pillars. And then from there, after QA is done with it, to ensure quality and make sure that it's an actual lead, that's when we send it to acquisitions department so that they can do the follow-up and do the negotiating and do that whole side of the conveyor belt. We've built areas for our lead managers and acquisitions managers. So we put property details in there. Created a section for comps just so that you can, we're getting close to a deal, we need to run proper comps, we can keep all that information clean. Follow-up sequencer, tracking our offer details. If there's a realtor involved, we put their information in there as well. We also built out an area for texting, because anybody that's done lead management or acquisitions knows that getting a hold of people can be difficult. So we integrated SMS texting abilities into our Podio. And these are just like quick send. So basically we can just click this button and then let people know, hey, I was just following up in regards to your property, purchasing the property or something to that effect. We also have it set up to where you can type in SMS : and then you can type your message here and click add, and that'll send a handwritten message as well. And that's helped our conversion rates in getting people back on the phones. And then finally, we have our call recording from the original cold call, just so that acquisitions can listen to the calls and get a gauge of the personality type that they're dealing with, and or if they wanted to verify something from the call, they have that there as well. So that's pretty much our Podio, and then from there, it's basically in our acquisitions hands that are closing up the deal. We'll be doing a follow-up video series on acquisitions, part of it, and dispositions. But real quick, I'll just show you guys a couple other apps that we have in our Podio that we built out. We also, not just homeowners, but we call investors. So we try to find fix and flippers in the area, buy and hold investors, and then also realtors as well. We do like the secret agent challenge and agent outreach. What we found is realtors are really great with helping in two ways. One, they can bring you deals, obviously, and really help out in that regard. But also, another thing that's really beneficial with agents is if you ask if the agent works with investors and they say yes, you get their email address. When you get a deal, you can literally send out that deal back to that agent and then say, hey, you had mentioned that you have some investors in your network. There's a deal that we have that doesn't quite fit our needs, and we're not going to be holding this one or fixing and flipping it. So if any of your investors are interested, go ahead and show it to them and submit an offer, and you can represent them and make a commission, and we'll even give you a kicker as well, give you a bonus for selling the deal. So that's pretty much in a nutshell, a brief rundown of our conveyor belt and how we start identifying lists, pull lists, skip them, organize the data, upload it, call it, and then get it over to acquisitions. I hope this helps. Anybody might have questions about what a conveyor belt or our version of a conveyor belt would look like. If you guys have any questions, don't hesitate to reach out. I'll be happy to help and answer questions. Thank you.